got these YouTube.
Well, I am a grandpa. I have 2 grandsons. That's not in the bio. I generally keep that off there because I have to decide whether or not I have a crowd that will be receptive to hearing that story. Because then you get them really curious. How can you look like you're older than 35? Thank you very much.
You'll come back and see us again, right?
Yes, I sure will. After that, 35. We'll go with 35. No, I have an adopted son. That's what throws everybody off. I'm actually 41, be 42 this year. My adopted son, he was 10 years old when I adopted him, and he grew up, and he's 27 now. And he got married and has given me 2 grandsons, one of which, if we could harness his energy, and my apologies to Georgia Power and Greystone, it would put you guys out of business. I don't know where he gets it from. Because I can go and tell you, when his dad turned 13, we couldn't get him off the couch. It took him going in the Army, and they changed all that for him. So, and y'all need to be... remember me in your prayers, because my daughter, whom I'm extremely proud of, she just turned 15. Yeah, the gray hair is coming in a little bit quicker. And it's not from her behavior, it's her driving. I mean, that used to be, never gave any thought, she never paid any attention to where we were driving to. Now the first thing when she gets in that car is, Daddy, let me drive. And I can tell you what, the other day we got about to get in the car, and it was coming down pouring rain, and we were going in town, and she goes, Daddy, let me drive. I tell you, that's kind of frightening. She has no fear. She's ready to go. But y'all don't want to hear me talk about my kids today. Just thought it was funny that somebody put my age in the bio. How many in here think that the most important thing facing this county, Georgia, America right now is jobs? I see so many folks running for different offices, and they want to talk about all these other things, and I want to go, it's jobs. It's jobs, jobs, jobs. I think there was some famous politician once said, it's the economy, stupid. I mean, it really is. That is the number one subject that we should all be concerned with. Georgia has been hit especially hard by this recession. And you guys know why. I'm from Carroll County, just down the road. We got hit in the same fashion y'all did. I keep trying to explain this to a lot of people that may not be familiar with it, but right before the economy faltered, Georgia was seeing its strongest growth in the history of this state. We were growing faster than basically any state. Matter of fact, I think this county was rated as one of the fastest growing, if not the fastest growing in Georgia at one time. I know that because I worked up here during one of those periods, appraising houses, and I'd go down a road one week and there'd be cows on it, and the next week you guys have subdivisions thrown up. I mean, it was amazing back in the early 90s. I worked up here for about 6 months. And the construction industry drove Georgia's economy. And if you take it back and you look at the job losses that we encountered in 1 year in construction, 85,000 construction jobs lost in 1 year. But I tell people, you need to take a look at the next job losses right under that. You know what the next one would be? Manufacturing. Totally related to construction. What do you think the next one would be under that? What's that? That being construction. Financial services. That directly related to construction. Retail sales is right there too. Those are your top job losses right under construction. And guess what? They're all related to construction. We were left with a lot of inventory around the state. And the biggest fear is construction cannot come back until the inventory is filled up. Now I have thoroughly depressed every person in this room. But wait, there is good news. Last month, we saw some very good news. Well, actually, we've seen some very good news the last 3 months. But in November and December, we saw the largest drop in the unemployment rate for a 2-month period since 1977. We've never had that big of a drop. Now, does that mean it's going to keep dropping? I hope so, but looking at what I know, I think we'll still see some up and downs, but it's improving. And one of the reasons why you know it's improving is take a look at the numbers we're seeing right now in job growth when it comes to manufacturing. We're seeing an uptick right now in Georgia. Construction. Here's an area that I thought we would not see job growth in for another year, at least. Last month was the first time we've had job gains in construction in the month of December since 2003. We've always had job losses, and up until then. Gain jobs. Manufacturing, the same thing. Last month, first time we saw job gains in manufacturing since 2005. I mean, those are, and they weren't, large gains, but they're gains. It's a positive sign, and we have to build on that. So going forward, what is it that we need to do? Well, I can tell you right now, I've been very impressed. Went over to the Economic Development Office over here next to Regions Bank. Great facility you've got there. You guys have allowed us to place a person in there 1 day a week. A great partnership between Economic Development and the Department of Labor. It's the new philosophy that I have brought to the Department of Labor. I believe that the Department of Labor should be helping businesses, not hindering businesses. And we are making massive changes across the board to be a more business-friendly agency. Because I know the Department of Labor is not going to be the one that puts everybody back to work. It's y'all. People in this room are going to be putting people back to work. And anything that government does to hinder that process, we have to minimize and do away with. I'm going to tell you right now, and I won't get a show of hands on this. How many business owners do we have in here? Can I see a raise of hands? All right. I've been in your shoes. Ran a business for 20 years before I came in this job, so I'm a private sector guy all the way. Let me go and tell you something. If you want to get a shock to your system, go from running a business in the private sector to working in state government. I can't tell you how many times I've been told, you can't do that. Or that's the way we've always done that. You know what, that got said so many times, I actually had a roll of stickers made that said, but we've always done it that way, and it's got a big red slash through it. And I hand those out quite frequently when I get told that. But when you go to make changes and turn things around in government, you can't do it quickly. It's a very, very large ship. And we have to make a lot of changes at the Department of Labor to get out of your way. Now back to your business owners. How many in here of those business owners, we're talking to just y'all, everybody else don't listen, I'm kidding, would like right now, maybe you had the capability, would like to expand your business right now, maybe expand, hire some more, okay? A little higher so we can see everybody. I mean, this is an important question here. Okay, take them down. How many of y'all are afraid to make those moves because you don't know what Washington is going to do next? Again, higher, I want to see them. Over half that number. That's not good. I think Ronald Reagan nailed it when he said, the most dangerous statement in the English language is, hi, I'm from the government. I'm here to help you. I almost got a clap on that one over there. Well, I can tell you that in our case, hopefully, when we do show up, it's going to be because you called us, not that we came in to see you and said, hey, we need your help. What can you do to help us? But we got a lot of change to make. I am a child of the 70s. As a matter of fact, I've got one of my classmates in here, went to high school with, and I've got the check ready so you don't tell any stories on me. Brian Hill over here. A friend of mine, we went to high school together, and I always used to kid him. I said, I'm a very conservative guy, but I think you may be to the right of Attila the Hun. Hope I didn't mess you up with anybody. So, but I'm a child of the 70s. Grew up in the 70s, 80s. When I went off to college, I'm a geek. Okay, I'm a nerd. I'll admit it freely. I'm all into technology, love gadgets, love all those kind of things. You know, I've got all the little toys and whistles. I mean, I got, you know, iPad, Windows Phone. I've got a little bit of everything. So I was always took computer classes in college. And the big thing in college, you know, computer classes, WordPerfect, that was the big thing. DBase, I think it was DBase 3 back then. I'm dating, but, you know, of course, y'all know how old I am now. So, and DOS. Everything was done on DOS. Let me tell you something, I was good at DOS. I knew all the commands, I had them in my head, I had them memorized. Anything I could do, I mean, you know, pull up files, search files, do commands, I was awesome, you know. And when Windows came out, I hated it. I was like, this is just stupid, you can't get anything done, this thing doesn't work, I don't like it. And I would not, well, of course, like everybody else, I had to switch. You can only keep DOS so long. And I thought for sure that I would never, ever use those skills again. And then I got elected labor commissioner. There's a guy that, well, you know, Fred Aikens here, and he knows, he's been around for a while, but we brought back a guy that's actually been around longer than Fred, a guy named Ken Cochran, who lives not too far from here. 35-year vet of Department of Labor, retired. We brought him back out of retirement to help us. And one day we were talking about one of the computer systems, and he was like, oh, we got that when I started here. And it hasn't changed much. I mean, we are the home of green screens. Anybody know what that means, green screens? Mm-hmm. How many of you have ever heard of an operating system called COBOL? We still use it. Matter of fact, that is the backbone of the Department of Labor. Yeah, which also causes me a lot of nervous moments. Every time I get these stacks of retirees every so often, I have to sign these things, you know, certificate, thank you for your years of service, and it always comes with a little sheet of paper. It says what they did and how long they did it, where they worked, you know, if they was in, you know, Dublin or Carrollton, or if they were in the main office. And every time I get one of those, it says COBOL programmer. I'm just going, oh Lord, what are we going to do next? But here's the thing. That's where all of your sensitive information, does anybody realize what kind of sensitive information the Department of Labor has? We are a very secure agency. Your Social Security, we've got that. We know how much you make. We know where you work. We know where you live. But guess what? Your information, I can assure you, is safe, because nobody can crack our system. We got this. But that doesn't get us where we need to be. And we're going to be making a lot of changes. And like I said, when I was in private business, when I was ready, I was a real estate appraiser for 20 years, when we wanted new software, guess what I did? Picked up the phone, called them up, said, here's my credit card number, ship it to me, installed it, ready to go. Can't do that anymore. Now we have to go through a long process. But what we noticed right away was we are not doing a good job of being a partner with business, with job seekers. Matter of fact, we're getting in the way more than anything else. Our search engine for jobs was terrible. Matter of fact, it was just kind of silly. And the process we used to have, just up until a few months ago, was if you were a business and you wanted to post a job with us, the only thing that you could do online was go online and download the PDF for the form that you had to either hand fill out or put it. Does anybody have a typewriter anymore? You have a typewriter? Yeah. Do you work for the Department of Ag? That's the one thing I had on Gary Black. I said, I may have COBOL, but you still have typewriters. Then you would have to take and fax that in to the Department of Labor, or somebody would have to take it and key it in. I told somebody the other day, when we get all this straightened out, we're going to put brother fax machines out of business. Because the only reason y'all have fax machines is because we exist. But the system that we want to have in the Department of Labor is one that, for the job seeker, we want to have a system to where when they come and look on our website for a job, that not only will it show the jobs that we have posted, but it'll be able to go out and grab them from everywhere. Whether it's the AJC, Monster.com, Jobs USA, you just go ahead and name one. Pull them all there in one spot so they can see have the best chance at it. But on the business owner side, we want to have a system that you guys can go and create your own account. When you get ready to post a job, you'll be able to just go online and do it. And there'll even be a system in there, we hope, that where you can even go back and forth and ask a few additional questions and kind of weed out. And the best thing that we want to do is once somebody becomes unemployed and they register for employment services, because I go and tell you, I'm getting sick and tired of being called the unemployment office. We are the employment office. Is that we're going to start requiring everyone to post a resume online and give you guys the ability to search those resumes. Maybe you're thinking about hiring somebody, but you don't really know what's out there. You'll be able to go and see it. We've made a lot of changes in other areas too. How many here do your books at your business? Yourself? Only 5 of them? Golly, I'm with y'all. I did the same thing in my business. I did all the books. You have to, when you do your unemployment tax premiums, you have to, how do you send those to us? Asking you. Lady in the red.
Well, I don't want to talk about it.
I don't want to talk about okay. Well, it's a conversation I had right before I got elected. When I did all our books, we made our federal tax payments. You know, I went online, filled out my stuff online, sent it to electronically. State Revenue Department, same thing. Get to the Department of Labor, I got to fill it out and write a check. Now, I had a little small business, 1 employee, me, at one time, and I had to send in my check for my unemployment. And so I sat down with my predecessor one day, just, you know, kind of, matter of fact, Fred was in the room, I think. And I asked him, I said, Commissioner, I said, I just want you to know that I did my books last week and I sent you your check. And he goes, well, thank you very much. Appreciate that. I said, well, you're welcome. I said, however, I got a question for you. I sat down, filled out all my paperwork, put it all in there, and wrote my check, printed it out off my printer. I said, and I've been in business, this business has been here for a long time, and you know, we're in the lowest tax run. I said, the check was for 37 cents. I said, when I put all that together, I put it in an envelope, and I put a 42-cent stamp on the outside. You see where this is going? I said, and then I stuck it in the mail and sent it to you. And knowing the fact that there's a check in there and there's a form in there, somebody on your end had to open that envelope, take that form out, take that check out, and key that in somewhere. He's like, yep. I said, that 42 cents went up in smoke before it even got to your door. Oh, excuse me, 37. I'm talking about the stamp, wasn't it? It's gone. We've changed that. You can finally make your payments online. Something we haven't been able to do. Even more importantly, to cut down on traffic in our offices, people can now start their initial filing for unemployment benefits online. People say, why is that important? It's very important because I need my people focused more on the employment side of this equation than on the unemployment side of this equation. And if they're having to walk people through constantly and deal with the intake process one-on-one in the office for every single person that comes through there, they can't do the good work getting people back on their feet again. And you'll be happy to know that Georgia does a very good job of that. Even though we have high unemployment in the state of Georgia, right now, we are second in the nation of getting people off their state unemployment benefits. Average 13.3. November it was 13.7. Now we're at 13.3. Anybody want to guess who beats us? Yell out a state if you think you can guess who's better than us. Huh? You'll never guess. Montana. Which is actually has a population smaller than Cobb County. So I think they should weight that because I don't really think that's a fair comparison. They beat us by about that much. It's pretty impressive. And it's because in Georgia we have integrated services. When we go to a layoff, we have specialized teams called Rapid Response. They show up and get right on it. You know, they get them started on their filing. They turn around and start working on them on their employment services. What can we do to help you? Do you need more training? We can hook you up with that. We can get you here. We can get you there. And it's helping. But still, we have a lot more to go. I go and tell you right now, I am very impressed with the leadership here in Paulding County. You guys are positioning yourself well for when we come out of this recession. You've got the infrastructure anymore. I mean, your airport facility, you're very impressed with that. I know you guys are excited about the hospital. I'm excited for you about the hospital. But when I got to talk about the hospital, one of the first things we got to talk about is we have to be, sorry, that was my Elmer Fudd. We have to be able to make sure we're giving you guys a supply of nurses. Right now, I'm saying we're doing on time. Right now, in the state of Georgia, our biggest focus, besides jobs, is workforce development. That is no one issue. You guys have got the infrastructure in place. You guys are on the right road. You have got the picture set up. Your front door is great. But what companies ask for now is when they show up, they go, hey, it's great. Your schools look good. Incentives look good. But do you have the people that are qualified to do the jobs I'm bringing to you? That's where we are right now. And we have to give more concentration and more effort to our higher education systems. Our university system, our technical colleges are essential to helping us get through this. Training, training, training. The workforce has to be prepared. You won't believe this. One of the things I got the most requests for, and still do to this day, people call me all the time saying, I need this. Welders. That blew my mind. I'm kin to about 20 welders myself. And I started calling them all up. They all got to have jobs. I mean, they had one guy call me. He needed 100. Right then. These are well-paying jobs. And where we're really messing up, or well, no, maybe not now. Let me go back. When I was in school, let's go back then. So that way we can just go back then. When I was in school, and I think Brian can probably back me up on this, I was told, in order for me here I go, Elmer Fudd again. In order for me to make a good living, I had to go to college. Let me tell you something, there are great jobs out there that require technical skills. And I have a BS degree. Well, it's very terrible for a politician to say he has a BS degree. Getting my master's every day. But we were talking to one fellow, actually over in Cobb County, and we were talking about this. He goes, y'all please don't send me one more liberal arts degree, BS degree person. And I said, okay. He goes, I need you to send me somebody who can actually do something. I kind of took offense to that. I said, I think I can do something too. But I mean, he kind of hit on it. Skilled labor. Let me tell you something, there is really no such thing as unskilled labor needs. It's it's getting less and less and less. You used to think that warehousing would be unskilled labor. Not anymore. Now with the new computer systems, robotics, the systems they use these, skilled labor. We need more mechanics, industrial electricians, welders, machinists. I mean, they're everywhere. Nurses, we've got to have them. We just got this last year, we got a survey from the Technology Association of Georgia, TAG. And they surveyed all of their Georgia members. How many job openings do you have right now? 5,000 job openings right now. It begs a question, why does Georgia have such high unemployment? But we also have employers everywhere struggling to find. Does anybody have that problem here? Do you have a hard time finding qualified people to come work for you? Anybody? Only 3 of you? Y'all doing good out here. Y'all ready to go. Y'all be able to attract anybody you want. That's good. It's a struggle. And we have to right the ship, and we have to concentrate more on this subject matter. We have to work this angle. And the only good news in this right now, all the other states that we compete with in the Southeast, they're having the exact same problem. But we have a better technical college system, and a better university system, and a better K-12 system than all of those states. And we'll be able to beat them. I feel confident of that. I know I've gone kind of long, but you can tell I get kind of passionate about this. I love what I do, and I appreciate y'all for letting me do it. Because I am elected, and I appreciate You give me a chance. Even if you didn't vote for him, maybe you'll change your mind next time. But if you have time, I don't know what the, I'm pretty sure there's some, I know one person asked me a question, I did not cover it, and somebody might want to know about the UI trust fund, things you've seen in the paper. I can cover that if anybody wants to ask that question. But I'd be happy to take questions. You just want me to go ahead and answer it? Okay, well, he said, well, that's my question. Okay, well, he was first. All right, UI trust fund. When I took office this time last year, we were already in debt. The money that we had in our trust fund was gone. And of course, that was not my predecessor's fault, really. Okay, so I'm not going to lay blame on him. You got to go all the way back some time ago to when the leaders of our state at that time, was back when Governor Roy Barnes was in office. They came up with this idea, and that was to give all the businesses in the state of Georgia a tax break on their state unemployment taxes. Basically, you didn't pay any for about 4 or 5 years, which amounted to about a $1.2 billion cut in those taxes. That's $1.2 billion that was no longer in that trust fund. They thought at that time $2 billion in the trust fund was way too much money, or bringing in way too much money. Now, here's your analogy. Imagine you own an insurance company. Well, it would be a property and casualty company, okay? And you're doing really well. Got a lot of money, you're doing well, it's okay. And you decide, I tell you what, we're just going to tell all of our customers they don't have to pay their premiums for about 5 years. Give them a break. They deserve it. And then about the time that break is over with, you give them that big thing, you have a hurricane come through and hits every single one of your insured's houses, and you pay out. Not a big hurricane, so you're okay. You still got a little bit left. Well, then about the time you start to get back out of that hole, the mother of all hurricanes comes through, which is what we saw when the recession hit us the hardest. In 1 year, we went through $900 million in payouts in 1 year. Now, had we not done that tax break, hindsight's 2020. Had to have borrowed we would have over a $500 million in our piggy bank. We'd have came out of this, but that's not what we did.